Since we keep going back and forth about Acts 15, let's play a game. The game is called Acts 15 Proves They Were Teaching Torah. Let me show you. Acts 15, some men came down from Judea and began to teach the brothers, unless you are circumcised according to the laws of Moses, you cannot be saved. But after that, Paul and Barnabas began to engage them in serious argument and debate. Now, why would that be? Leviticus 12:3, the flesh of the foreskin must be circumcised on the 8th day. In the Torah, getting circumcised is only for babies. Let me prove it again. Genesis 17:12, throughout your generations, every male among you at 8 days old is to be circumcised. Paul took issue with this because he knew Torah and taught Torah. He was a Pharisee, meaning he had the Torah memorized. Acts 23:6, Paul says, I am a Pharisee. Paul also said this in Acts 24:14, but I confess to you, I worship my Father's God according to the way, which they call a sect, believing all the things that are written in the law and prophets. Paul knew only babies needed to be circumcised. This is why he took issue with it. And James, the leader of the church, also knowing Torah, knew this, which is why he gave these commandments to the new Gentiles, assuming they would learn more in the synagogue. James names 4 commandments they need to keep right away. Let's take them one by one. Acts 15:19, therefore in my judgment we should not cause difficulties for those among the Gentiles who turn to God, but instead we should write to them to abstain from things polluted by idols. Wouldn't you know it? That's a Torah commandment. Leviticus 26:1, do not make idols for yourselves, set up carved image or sacred pillars for yourselves. What else did James command them? Abstain from sexual immorality. Wouldn't you know it? The entire chapter of Leviticus 18 is about this. You are not to have sex with a relative. You're not to have sex with your mother. You're not to have sex with your father's wife. You're not to have sex with your sister. It kind of goes on like this for a while, but you get the point. Leviticus 18 is this commandment that James is talking about. What else did James command him? From eating anything that has been strangled. Wouldn't you know it? Leviticus 17:13 tells us how to properly dispatch an animal. I'll give you a hint. It's not by strangulation. Any Israelite or foreigner living among them who hunts down a wild animal or bird that may be eaten must drain its blood and cover it with dirt. And last but not least, James tells them to abstain from blood. And wouldn't you know it again, we can find that in the Torah. Leviticus 17:14, you must not eat the blood of any creature because the life of every creature is in its blood. And here again, Leviticus 19, you are not to eat anything with blood in it. They were teaching Torah.